All right. 3, 2, 1. First one out. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Elevator Podcast. I'm so excited to be here with you guys yet another week. I'm so excited to be here with a good friend of mine, somebody who I admire. I definitely respect.
Hey, good admire.
And I admire you, man. Like, I don't say it that much, but I admire you. I'm not gonna lie. But I just, you know, even I think I did an interview with not one of his girlfriends, but his girlfriend Maria.
We're gonna edit that out.
We're gonna edit that out. But I did an episode with her, and I wanted to get you on for Health is the New Black. I never did, but now I am. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. Timing is perfect. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Introduce where you're from. What you like to do.
Like what hood?
What hood you from,
what
bro?
Hood?
Yeah, go ahead and tell people, you know, your favorite movie, your favorite color. I don't know. Do what you got to do.
So, for those of you who don't know me, you're missing out. Nah,
if you don't know, now you know.
I'm Edwin Ortega, Salvadorian and Nicaraguan parents.
Santo. Hey, tell me he doesn't look Cuban. Go, good. Run the camera.
Es que mira, que yo soy
papi,
cubano.
tú te mira cubano, chico.
Mira cubano, un cubanito por ahí. Nah, I'm Salvadorian and Nicaraguan.
Yeah.
PK. Go to
Pastor's kid. If you
Cornerstone.
don't know what that means, he's a pastor's kid.
And I don't know, favorite color, blue all day.
Blue all day.
I'm not a crib, but blue all day. And then
I'm not a crib, but I can crib walk.
Hey. And then I don't know, favorite movie, Toy Story, bro.
Of all time?
Toy Story.
Really?
I'm not saying it's the greatest movie.
What's the greatest movie of all time?
Greatest movie
Greatest
of
movie
all
of
time.
all time.
Oh my Lord. Should I say The Passion of the Christ or
No, you should. Dude, honestly, my favorite movie of all time, greatest movie of all time, ever, E.T.
No,
that's
no.
such a classic. If y'all know,
that's
y'all
not-
know. I swear to God.
That's not the greatest movie of all
That's
time.
bro. That's a endless movie.
If I were to say greatest movie of all time, I'd have to say, I don't know, bro. Pulp Fiction. Oh, santo.
Yeah?
Nah. I don't know, bro. It's because
I heard Pulp Fiction was. I never watched it. I heard it's a classic. Also, what is it? Full Metal Jacket. I heard it's good too. I never watched it.
Those are like.
I need to watch them ASAP. I know, bro.
Nah, bro. I'm not gonna say that. Like, I can't tell you to watch that. As a youth leader and worship leader, okay. I can't. But they're good.
Yo, guys. So this is Edwin. Thank you so much, Edwin, for joining me.
Thank you for the coffee.
Yeah, man. So, you know, I had to hook up my people, you know what I'm saying? But this episode is actually episode 5. It's called The Art of Not Taking Yourself Too Serious.
Oh,
and
what you trying to tell me?
No, you know what? You are honestly one of the people that when someone meets you, you don't try to appear something to someone. And that's what I love about you. You're just genuinely yourself. You're literally funny all the time. You're just like cracking jokes. You're like, and I'm not saying that when it's time to get serious that you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're doing. But as a person and your personality trait, that's just so beautiful to see. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people try to be someone they're not.
I feel you.
Yeah. So I want to read this quote before we get started. Surround yourself with people who take their work seriously, but not themselves. Those who work hard and play hard. Colin Powell, and he was a former U.S. security advisor. But my first question for you, Edwin, is would you consider yourself someone who takes himself seriously?
That's a very loaded question, bro. I don't know. I'd have to say I take myself seriously. Right. I don't take myself too seriously. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, life is, in my opinion, life is about fun, man.
Right.
Like, if you're not having fun, what are you doing?
Exactly. I'm trying to tell these people out here. It's true. It's true. Like, and why do you, and who doesn't want to live in a life that genuinely you wake up and you're like, I'm so happy to be who I am? You know, like, I think that as a person, the reason why I genuinely love my life is not because I have good things or because the people that surround me, this or that. It's just I genuinely just find the fun in every single situation.
I feel you.
You know, and a lot of that has to do with this. It has to do with not caring about what people think about you. And for some people, and I know as a matter of fact, for me, I was a person who sat down and cared about what people thought about what I look like, what I like to do, where I was at, you know. And has that always been about, like, what about yourself? Like, is that something that...
I think growing up in school and stuff, in high school, it was very much like that. Like, you have to appear a certain way.
Yeah. Like you had to be in a group. Like either you're with the jocks or you're with the guys.
In my time nowadays, everybody's wearing, you know, the skinny jeans, a fitted shirt,
right?
You know, nice and unbuttoned so people can see your chest hair. And
if you don't have any chest hair, don't worry. I don't either, but I still rock it. You feel me?
See, in my day, it was my high school days, it was about the 2XL tall pro clubs.
Yeah.
You know, them wide Levi's strapped at the bottom. And, you know.
Strapped with rubber bands, right?
Yeah. And then you had the Filas.
Yes, sir.
You had to rock the Filas.
What about the K-Swiss?
Nah, bro. I've never owned a pair of K-Swiss.
What? For real? When I was in elementary school, K-Swiss was popping, bro.
Nah, bro. 3 stripes is enough.
Oh my goodness.
3 stripes is enough.
Let me ask you this.
Or a check mark.
For all those people out here, have you ever shopped at Marvin's? Mervin's.
Yeah, bro.
That was the classic.
You don't even
with
know.
South Polo right there, bro.
You know what Mervin's is now, though, right?
I don't know what it is now.
It's Kohl's, bro.
Oh, really?
Mervin's is Kohl's.
I didn't know that, bro.
Like,
dude, that was
I don't know if they bought it, but if you go to Kohl's, it's like you walked into Mervin's.
Dude, Mervin's was so lit to me, bro. I used to love that place.
I do not condone shoplifting, but
you used to steal from there.
Yeah, bro.
That's what I'm talking about.
Nah, bro. Come on.
I was trying to dab more.
I'm not condoning. Not condoning.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, but tell me what like you're telling me about like the things that people looked at. But what was the process for you? You know, like when was the moment? When was the time? When's the last time that you remember telling yourself, "All right, I could care less about what people think"?
I think it was definitely during that process of growing up in high school, probably junior, senior year. I like was starting getting a little bit more out there, but growing up, I grew up fairly poor, like
in the hood,
states poor. Yeah, states poor, not our country's poor, because that's a whole other level of poor. Right. But I grew up fairly poor, and I have a brother who's three years older than me, and then one who's 6 years older than me. And legitimately, probably up until like middle school, when I started outgrowing my brother, it was hand-me-downs all the time. And it was like, it wasn't good hand-me-downs. Like my mom shopped, clearance all the time.
I feel it.
And so it was a little bit tough. I grew up not really speaking much. One thing that affected me a lot, for a lot of people that don't know, I have a homosexual brother. I love my brother to death. Right. Shout out if he's ever gonna hear this. I don't know how, but he may. Hey,
he may. Yeah.
But I love my brother to death. But being that we were 3 years apart, people, when I was going into middle school that knew him, he was going into high school, stayed back. When I walked into middle school, I used to get bullied a lot over my brother. Okay. And so that affected me a lot. Like I started caring about what people thought about me, and I was like, I'm not gay, like but it got to the point where I don't know what exactly happened. It wasn't like this boom, life-changing alert. Okay. Like nah, it was just something where I was like,
it was gradual more than
basically. I started feeling a little bit more confident in myself, and I got out of high school and I realized, you know what, I don't want to be like other people. Like I'm gonna be me. And to this day, like I have friends who are very successful, who do all these things, and I'm not that person. Like if I could put that in, like, I'm not saying I'm a failure,
Right.
but if I were to compare myself to other people,
Their success level or the way they appear in success.
yeah, definitely. They definitely seem like they got it all together and more together than I do. And I've come to the conclusion that I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah. There's beauty in that, man. You know, like, a lot of people try to, like, they go broke trying to present this image. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody wants that Beamer. Everybody wants that Mercedes. They want that luxury car, but they have that $600 check. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your whole car payment, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you, 04 Camry, haven't changed the oil on it in like a year.
Let me tell you this, bro. I'm so grateful with life. I'm so happy where I am in this state. Like, I could literally tell you that my Toyota is so amazing, and I could compare it to a Bugatti. Like, yeah, bro, my car's so, like, I feel so tight with my car. You know what I'm saying?
See,
I just feel blessed.
I call mine a Lambo.
There you go. See,
and
like, I'm serious.
I tell everyone, I'm like, you know what? I can't buy a new car because this one hasn't broken yet. if it ain't broke, why fix it? I'm just like, straight up. I'm straight up just like, you know what? If you want to buy it, if you only want to own one car in your life, buy a Toyota.
I'm serious, bro.
If you guys want to sponsor us, Elevated Podcast, please do so.
Toyota,
what up?
Send us sponsorship. Shout out, man. My next question is this, Edwin. I feel like you're, like, when we get together, it's never like a serious, like, yeah, there's serious moments when we sit down and actually have conversations about life, whatever. But when we're out and about, it's always like, I'm just dying. Or like, there was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, we went bowling. And I told him before we came on, I was like, bro, you got to tell people this joke. So go ahead and tell it.
Oh, you want me to say the joke?
Dude, say the joke, bro.
Oh, bro.
So tell them the backstory, though. Tell them okay, so we got this kid, right? We know this guy. And he was, he said like 5 years he was single.
Yeah,
he was single for 5 years,
something
bro.
like that.
I was like, bro, you need to slow down. No, but anyways, I'm just kidding. Anyways. And so he said this after, and I was just dying. I don't know. It was just like,
so I got to give credit where credit's due. This is my father's joke. Yes, the pastor. This is his joke.
This is his joke. ¿Cómo va?
So, dice la broma, el chiste, dice soltero maduro, maricón seguro. Shout out to my dad.
When I heard this, I was dying.
But you know what, bro? I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about what happened really at bowling.
This guy, I swear to God, he's always like, I don't know why he wants to compete with me. I don't know why. And he's like, Juan, he comes up to me so serious. He's like, Juan, friendly wager. Whoever wins, food's on them. And I'm thinking, and then he says this, right? He says, and just to let you know, I'm not a good bowler at all.
I'm not a good bowler,
at
bro.
all. And I was like, oh, for sure then. You
bro,
know, like,
yo
me defiendo, you know? So I was like, all right, let's run it. It's all good.
I have days where I don't even hit 100 points, bro.
Bro, this kid, how much did you run up that day?
I don't know, but
it was like 253. I don't know.
Tell him about the first
Do it. Number one, he goes up, lane, strike. Second time around, comes around, boom, strike. Third time comes around.
Hold on. Third time, what happened? Thanksgiving came early. So what happened?
Bro,
Thanksgiving
he
came
hit
early.
a turkey, and I was like, I literally go up to him, and I'm like, bro, I thought you weren't good. And he's just like, I'm not. And I'm like, come on, bro. You just hit a turkey, bro.
That was the joke was good, but not as good as that game, bro.
That was a good game. I was trying to catch up, but you can't catch up to that. Anyways, but I just find you very comedic. We were talking about, what is this show called in Netflix with Seinfeld? Comedians in cars.
Yeah, comedians. We comedians in studios drinking coffee.
Dude, we're comedians right now.
Hey.
But like, that's just like dry comedy. But in life itself, would you consider yourself someone who finds like the funny in things? the comedy, the irony and things.
Yeah, definitely. Itself. I'm definitely that person. Once again, credit has to go where it's due. Like, credit goes to my pops, man. Like, my pops is like that. His side of the family's like that. Like, last year, my grandmother died. Cancer. She had leukemia.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. Yeah. My grandmother lived with us for a long time, probably 20 years of my life. I had my grandma in the room next to me or nearby.
Dang.
So, but even in those moments, like, we went to the funeral, everyone's, giving some words, stories, and it's just all jokes, man. Obviously, we cried, but, to this day, we miss her and everything. But when you come to the realization that, you know what, this is just a process, man. It's a part of life that everyone has to go through. Life isn't always great. And when you learn to find the beauty in the bad things is when you truly enjoy the good things. Like, and sometimes comedy or just laughing about things is a lot better than stress. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. I've never heard of someone dying because they laughed. But people stress out and you get high blood pressure, anxiety, depressed, man, heart attacks.
And you know what? I heard this from a comedian once, and he said, my best jokes, my best stand-ups were at a place of happiness. It wasn't at a place that I felt good about myself. I was going through some dark times. I was going through it, and especially losing someone, it's hard to, sometimes it's hard. It's like hard to like physically understand. My sister's dad died like, let's say 5 years ago. And that was the first funeral that I remember actually just sitting down and going up to the casket, and I'm just looking over, and you know what it looks, he's just blue, like, and I'm just like, dude, I was literally just talking to you like a week ago. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard because my sisters are young. They're 10 and 9, and right now, actually one of them is actually going to therapy because of it, because like they're growing up and they're starting to understand things.
Yeah, of course.
But like, I just sit down with them and like, hey, let's watch a movie, let's go out. I actually went on a bike ride like two weeks ago. We went out and we did a trail, 7 miles. They ran up 7 miles in this heat. And, it's just like all fun and games with them. Just because I want them to understand that life doesn't have to be brutal.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, life is what you make of it.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you want to have a good time in life, guess what you got to do? You got to make a fun out of every stupid, like, sometimes I literally think God is like standing, like sitting up there. He's just like, oh my God, you're so stupid, Juan. And he's just laughing at me. All the things that we do.
Like, legitimately, bro, have you ever seen someone so ugly and in your head you're like, man, God had to be kidding, like, when he made this person?
Dude,
like,
there was this,
it's happening.
I came up with this joke, right? I was like, bro, everybody asked, oh wow, is it a boy or a girl? When a person's pregnant.
Yeah.
And I ask, oh my God, was this was this on purpose or accident? And I don't know. I found that funny. It's not a good joke. It's a good joke.
It's a good joke.
It's a good joke.
It's a good joke. Like, expand. See, no, you don't, bro. It's a dry comedy humor, bro.
Dude, that's hilarious, comedy. Bro. That's so hilarious to me.
Like,
but yeah, man.
Speaking of like touching on that, one thing that I think helped me a lot was mission trips. Like, legitimately going on mission trips with my dad, sometimes driving 10, 12 hours at night.
Yeah.
But we would get there, go straight to work, no sleep, just a little bit of breakfast, because, you gotta eat.
You gotta eat out here. If you ain't eating right, you ain't living right.
But what I started seeing, we go to this spot in Sonora, very poor. When we first started going there about 15 years ago, it was the first time I saw houses built out of cardboard.
Wow.
And I saw bathrooms that were just a hole in the ground with like blankets and towels covering it. And I saw little kids with no shoes on.
Right.
And Sonora is very much like Vegas, except when in the winter it's cold.
Yeah.
Like, but summer is just as hot. But these kids had such joy on their face. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, I'm sitting here worrying about my Filas, my pro clothes, my big Levi's.
Yeah, this was in high school. These
kids don't even have shoes, man.
Yeah, I think it gives you perspective.
Yeah, and I was like, man, if these kids can like walk around and smile, like I remember going home that first trip I went out there, and on our drive back, I was just crying, man. I was like, damn, I'm ungrateful. Yeah. And I think that helps open your eyes when you see what some people are going through, and you're like, how are you smiling? You don't got TV.
Yeah.
Like, you don't got running water. You got to walk to this big thing to pump out the water. Like, what is that?
And I think it's perspective, just because I don't know where I was reading this, but there was two kids, two boys, and their father was an alcoholic. He was a drunk. And one of them grew up to be a drunk. And someone asked him what happened. And he said, I grew up watching my father. And the other kid grew up, and they asked him the same question, but he wasn't a drunk. And he was like, and then he gave the same answer. I grew up watching my father. And I think that speaks to us, telling us, like, it's not about what you go through, it's what you make of that.
For sure.
You know, like, I grew up like kind of poor, you know, like I grew up in Mexico. I was born in Cali. My mom sent me out there because she didn't want me. Nah, just kidding. She loved me. I'm just kidding. My grandpa, my grandma.
You were that joke.
Yeah.
You're the one that got made ugly, bro.
Yeah, nah. But, you know, I remember like eating a bowl of hard tortillas from the torteria the night that we ate before, crunching it up, eating it with milk, putting sugar on it. It's Frosted Flakes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's to this day, you know? But that's my favorite memory growing up, just sitting down with my grandpa, just sitting and joking, eating, and he was like a father to me. But it's all about perspective, you know, because some people would go through that and they get bitterness in their heart, saying like, damn, I didn't have anything, now I got to go out and do this, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just,
you know, I think, well, you know how political I get at times.
No, yeah, he's very political.
Yeah, but you know, I think even in the society we live in, it's very much like, I need to find someone to blame instead of what am I going to do to make my life better.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's how everything is. It's the same thing. Like, everyone's always offended and this and that.
Yeah.
Like, and you know what? I'm where I'm at, not because of my parents' decisions, not because of my siblings' decisions, not because of any of that, but simply because I'm here because I haven't made better decisions, or I've made great decisions. Like, at the end of the day, you see people that fight through things that people would be like, oh, well, they had no chance, and what a beautiful story. Well, it's a beautiful story because they made some decisions that they're like, you know what, I don't want to be like others.
Yeah.
Like, I'm ready to be me and do me, and yeah, it's going to be a tough road, but sometimes you just got to get through it. And I think that's where you stop caring, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's where you stop caring about
what people think.
Yeah, how people see you. And don't get me wrong, like, you should always care what certain people think of you.
Yeah. I get that.
And
criticism.
but when you care about what everyone thinks of you, like, who are you living for?
Yeah. I think I say this, a man who stands for nothing falls for anything.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
Like, some people are literally just living, and picture yourself in a river, someone throws you in and you're just literally getting pushed by the current, whether hard or not. You're literally just getting whatever life throws at me is their mentality. And I think that's a dangerous mentality, just because you don't have identity. You don't have if you don't have identity, you can't have a purpose. And if you can't have a purpose, you're never going to fulfill your God-given destiny.
Yeah, for sure.
You know? But I want to finish with this. For all those people that are struggling with caring so much about what people think, and even sometimes your own critic is yourself, and even then sometimes it's your own family. you know, your mom or your dad telling you, no, I want you to be a doctor, I want you to do this, you know, like, and they get so caught up with things that people want them to accomplish that they forget about who they are, why are they here, you know what I'm saying? So what would you advise someone going through that situation of caring so much about what people think?
You want my simple answer?
A simple answer.
Stop caring. But that's not what people want to hear, because they're like, how do I do that?
Yeah.
You know what? In all honesty, I think it's just analyzing yourself. Like, I analyze myself and I'm like, who am I?
Right.
Like, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people analyze themselves and they're like, how do they see me?
Yeah.
And it's like, who am I? Like, who am I as a person? Hey, write down who you are. Sit there and make a list and be like, who am I?
And you are enough, more than anything.
Like,
I need you guys people to understand that.
Yeah, man.
Bro, literally like 3 weeks ago, you know, I was really feeling down. And I was like, I'm going to go on a run. I used to love running.
I love running too, bro.
Oh, it's amazing.
My knees don't.
They give out now.
Yeah,
like that. But I went out and I was gonna put on a shirt, but in the back of my head I was like, man, it would be so nice to go and run with shirtless. And estoy gordito, you know, like I'm a little fat boy right now.
Bro, calm down, bro.
No, for real, dude.
We're not talking about this.
I'm serious. No.
All right, bro.
Anyways, in the back of my mind, it was like, oh, people are going to see you and they're going to judge you. And I was like, man, F what everybody has to think, you know? I took off my shirt, left it in my house, and I go on a run, like 7-mile run. And it felt so amazing just because I was literally telling the world, like, I could care less what you guys have to think of me. Yeah. You know, and it's so freeing. Like, people need to go out and do that, you know? Like, oh, my dreams seem silly. It seems stupid to you. But guess what? I'm going to go and fight for it because it's something that I want. I'm not going to be a doctor like you want me to be, or I'm not going to be this accountant that you want me to be, or I'm not going to be this architect, whatever people want you to be in life, because they see so much potential in you. Understand that there is potential inside of yourself, because like that talent, that gift has been set there for a reason.
Yeah, for sure.
And many times we, like I said, we go through like life through a river, and those talents and gifts go to waste. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy is such an amazing musician. Like, and I'm not gonna toot your horn, but like, you gotta understand, like, bro, like, you are an amazing worshiper. You know what I'm saying? And I love that about you. And that's why, like, I'm telling you, like, this is the art of not caring what people think about you, just because you can be so serious about one thing, but at the end of the day, like, that one thing is just because you're a hard worker. But you can't take yourself serious, you know?
And you know, it's funny that you like kind of flowed into that, because if I were to show you what I have up right here, it's an awesome verse. It's in John 4, and it's 4 verse 23, chapter 4 verse 23. It says, "But the hour is coming, and now is, when true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth." And a lot of people forget the truth, man.
Oh, that's so good.
You know, a lot of people forget about the truth, you know. When you can come and just be like, you know what, this is who I am. Yeah. You know what? Like, yeah, I get mad. Yeah, I want to fight people in basketball. Yeah, I'm lustful sometimes. Yeah, y'all lustful sometimes. Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm all these things, you know, but this is who I am. Yeah. And that's what God, you know, when it comes to God, like, that's what he wants. He wants honesty. Right. He already knows, like.
And the power is in confession.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. I tell my kids this is the best way I can explain it. I'm like, have you guys ever watched a movie and they're like, no, I don't want to say I love you, because if I say it, it becomes true. It's the same thing, man. When you come and you're like, when you actually say the words like, yo, yeah, this power. Is who I am. It's like, whoa, like, this just became real. But the moment it becomes real, it's like, you know what? God is like, okay, I could work in this. Yeah. And as far as, you know, people who are out there like caring too much, like, you know what? At the end of the day, I've learned a lot from my parents. My parents are my biggest influence, my biggest heroes, and as well as my brothers, man. My brothers are the strangest people in the world, man. Yeah. They're both individuals, completely different. We're all different. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. But I learned to just not care, man. And one thing my parents have always told me, they're like, you know, when you find a girl, like, you're the one that's going to marry them. You're the one that's going to be the one with them. You're the one that's going to have to deal with them. You shouldn't care about what we think directly. And it's the same thing in life, man. Like in jobs, in your personal life, your group of friends. Like at the end of the day, those are the things that you're dealing with. Those are the things that you have to do. Can you imagine if I'm like, you know what, Juan, you need to be a lawyer, and you're gonna be a lawyer, and you have to be a lawyer and a lawyer, and in your mind you're like, I'm not a lawyer, man. That's not what I want to do with my life. Like, and a lot of times we let other people affect who we truly are, and it's like when you know what, this is what I am, this is what I'm good at, this is what I'm bad at, and you know what, if you like me, you're gonna take me as I am. If you don't, then you're not. And that's one thing, you know, it starts with you being able to do that for other people.
Love it.
Like when I'm able to say, you know what, if you were to see my group of friends, the people I surround myself with, I have a close-knit group of friends. I have people at church, and I have people who are kind of geeky. I have people who are kind of smart. I have people who are, you know, kind of athletic, musicians. I have a group of like friends in every spectrum who all have different defects, different defects, bro. I have a group of friends who, so maybe one of them is angry, the other one is petty, the other one is quiet, like. But it's like, you know what? Our defects make us beautiful, man. They make us who we are. Yeah. And like when you learn to accept other people like that, you begin to accept yourself like that.
I love it, man. That's so good right there.
Bam.
I love it. Yeah, but I really don't have anything much to ask you. These are your last words. What, you know, like, let me ask you this. If today was your last day, you're on a deathbed, and the people that you most loved are around you, what would you say to them?
Man, that's intense, bro. That brings back memories from my grandma, legit. You know, I think I definitely, obviously, tell the people who are around me, you know, how much I love them, but I definitely tell them, like, yo, y'all need to move on. Like, like, y'all need to do you, move on. Like, yeah, you're probably going to miss me. Like, who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't? Yeah. I love it.
But, like, even in that deathbed, I'd probably be, like, cracking jokes, remembering beautiful times. But definitely telling people, you know what? Hey, you got to do you. Like, like, at the end of the day, that's what you have to do. And just spread love, man. We need more love in this world.
We do, bro.
Like, no... And once again, you know how political I am. No matter what side you stand on, no matter what your political sides, with your religiousness, whatever, man, I can guarantee that no one can argue that we need more love, man.
I love it. Ed, a pleasure having you in Elevated Podcast.
Edwin, bro. Edwin.
I don't, hey, bro, like, I swear
Edwin,
to God,
bro.
All my friends, I promise you, they all have it. I don't know why I give people that I love nicknames, bro. Like, I don't know why. It's just a thing. But thank you, Edwin, for
bro.
joining me.
Thank you.
Podcast.
Thank you.
Appreciate your friendship. Appreciate your knowledge, your wisdom, everything that you poured onto me. I really do appreciate you as a person, man. I look forward to seeing what God has in store for you. You know, like,
it's mutual, bro. It's mutual.
Ahorita va para arriba para todo, ya sabes.
Mira que aquí es puro cubano.
Dale, papi.
Puro cubano.
Pero, chicos, nos vemos hasta el próximo episodio.
A joke. ¿Por qué los cubanos siempre tienen el pelo corto, el pelo chico? No, el pelo corto. I just ruined my joke.
¿Por qué?
Porque cuando van al barbero le dice, córtame el pelo chico. What up? Short hair.
I love dad jokes. I swear to God. Guys, thank you guys so much for joining. This was the art of not taking yourself too seriously. I love you guys. Peace.